What's happening, guys? So today we're going to be going through a mobility setup. Essentially, most of what we're going to be going through is going to be in the context of a lower body or a leg day. So that's just an important thing to keep in mind. I'm going to save the upper body sort of mobility for another day. If you're someone who does full body workouts, you would essentially have to put the lower body workouts, lower body mobility and the upper body mobility together. So this one specifically is going to be done on the days I do squats as well as deadlifts. That's in context to me. That's when I feel they are kind of needed the most. If you feel like you want to use them on other days as well, I don't think there's any harm in doing that. So I've got a kettlebell in front of me. I've got a plate in front of me. That's pretty much all we're going to need. It's actually one or the other. You don't even need both. Kettlebells, 10 kilos, plates, 10 kilos. I'm just going to use the plate. I feel more comfortable with the plate. First things first, it's going to be a squat hold position. That's literally it. We're going to be going to a deep squat and holding it, bracing that position. I'm going to be holding it here for 30 seconds. I'm not going to do the full 30 seconds because this video will just end up going on forever. But the main thing to keep in mind here is that you're just keeping a nice squat position. You're not just getting down low and rounding, just trying to keep that squat position as if you're holding a squat down the bottom, right? So if you're a relatively strong person, still going to be an important part of the process to get mobile coming through. From there, we're just going to be doing some knee pushovers. So knee pushed over the toe. You'll notice is that your heel might come off the ground. That's fine. Some other people might experience cracking in their ankles, similar to myself. I get some popping and some cracking in my knees as well. No pain at all. It's just some popping and very, very normal stuff. I like to do 10 reps in there, making sure I'm getting a nice stretch through my calf and feeling my ankles getting more mobile. I noticed that if I don't do this exercise before my squat day, I find it really difficult to get into a deep squat. So from here, we're going to do 10 pulsing squats. So those last pulsing squats really, really help a lot in just getting that explosive power out, especially when most people struggle with squat, it's from that bottom part of the squat, the deep part of the squat. So this is going to be an important part of activating those muscles and getting them ready for the leg workout or the lower body workout. So one other thing I like to add, especially for my lower back, I have a bit of a lower back issue, is actually getting a nice stretch in my back. So from that same squat position, I might actually just drop the plate there and from that deep squat position, go to a squat reach up to the sky. And I don't know if the microphone picked up on that, but my back cracked like crazy and it feels amazing. And I'm not saying that back cracking and the sense of feeling amazing is what we're striving for, but getting that nice stretch from my back and having your muscles more prepared and avoiding lifting heavy and that happening when you're lifting a heavy weight, that's kind of what we're striving for. So just to kind of recap that first part, with the 10 kilo plate or kettlebell, squat hold for 30 seconds, 10 reps of knee push over your toes, trying to focus on knee and ankle mobility. And then from there, some pulsing squats at the bottom to activate and prime those muscles. And then squat reaches at the end. That's kind of like a little bit of the first part just to get you kind of ready. And then the next part is something I forgot his name, but he's the guy who runs Squat University. He's a doctor, and he every other video he makes is on the McGill Big Three, which is absolute game changer. So we're going to be going through the McGill Big Three right now, starting off with it's essentially a kind of crunch movement. I'm going to show you what it looks like essentially, but this is what's happening. So from here, I'm going into a kind of crunch position here. What I'm going to do is just extend one leg out. Now, I don't think it matters too much, but if I have my right leg forward, I'll have my left hand on my core here. And what this is doing here is checking for activation of my breathing, my vasvalvular breathing, getting air into my body. And then the right hand is underneath my lower back. And as far as I'm aware, I'm not sure which is exactly the intention here if we're trying to lower our back, keep it curved. is actually to keep it curved. So from here, hand underneath your back, trying to keep a nice gap in there. This is going to be focusing your breathing, deep breath in, pushing out against my fingers here, and curling up. I've just done 3. I'm going to strive for about 10. And then from here, just repeat on the other side, hands underneath the lower back. Okay, so it would be essentially 10 on each side. All right, so the next part of the McGill Big 3 is essentially a side plank with raises. So that's going to look like this. So if you were to go into your side plank here, now you're going to have a nice controlled motion close to the ground and then lift back up. I like to have my hand on my core here so I can kind of feel it working and activating. What we're trying to avoid is kind of just dropping up and down. We're trying to have a nice control and make sure that the obliques are actually activating and priming themselves for that lower body workout. If you have a weak core coming into a leg workout, you're not going to have a very strong leg workout. You're going to see my bum now, but we're going to do the other side. So again, 1, 2, 3. So that would be 10 on each side there as well. Can do a bit more. I kind of like to put it in the context of the workout. If I do 10 reps, it's going to take me roughly anywhere between 10 to 20 seconds, let's say 15 seconds. That's usually going to be the maximum amount of time I'm going to be squatting for if I do 10 reps max on a squat day. So that should be ready. And the last one is your bird dog. Anyone who hasn't heard of bird dog before, really, really simple. You're going to be on all fours like a dog position, and then you're going to go into a flying position, bird. So from the dog position here, we're just going to do one side at a time and then move to the left side. So I'll go opposite hand to opposite knee. So from here, fist, control in, and then extend out. Control in and extend out. One thing to avoid, and I see it a lot, and I used to do it myself as well, is a huge hyperextension of the back. So you're like, okay, what we're trying to do is keep our core nice and tight. If you think about your core keeping tight and not letting that go, it's impossible to go much further than that. You're essentially extending the hand as long as possible, and you're extending your leg as straight as possible while activating and firing the glutes. We would essentially do the other side there. Left side. Cool. And then another thing to keep in mind that I've seen someone like Lane Norton do is actually put a small weight in their hand as well, and that'll just prime the shoulders a little bit more as well. So essentially going to be focusing a lot on the posterior chain, the glutes and the rear delts firing up so you can prepare yourself to hold onto the weight. Again, most of this is going to be focusing on a lower body squats day. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm a huge fan of the world's greatest stretch. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second. I don't do this on my lower body day, although I feel like I might benefit from it. But what you might be realizing already is that this is taking a long time. And that's essentially what a good warm-up looks like. So if you're coming into a squat day, it's going to be like 20 to 30 minutes of just warming up at the beginning. But at the end of the day, if you're looking to become a power lifter, an Olympic lifter, a strongman, this is the kind of warm-up sessions that you need to be doing, the kind of setups that you need to be doing to be successful in that sport. If you're coming in more casually, general fitness, probably don't need to go into too much detail, but make sure that you are warming up appropriately by doing some form of cardio, 5 to 10 minutes, a mobility session like that. I'll show you now the world's greatest stretch. From that push-up position here, stepping forward, already that's going to be a nice stretch through the groin. Now, I like to drop the back knee just so I can focus a little bit more on the stretch, not make it too complex for me. And then from here, dropping down and then reaching up to the ceiling, elbow to the ground, touching the ceiling. Some of you will be able to put the elbow on the ground straight away. Great work. If you're like me, very immobile, that's going to be very tough for you. So that's it for today's session, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.